Welcome to the debut episode of Three's a Crowd. Alongside my co-host Eli Atwood, I'm Preston Vargas. Getting into all things sports, we're going to talk about Eli. Why don't you start us off?
We'll first go in here with the Browns quarterback situation. I mean, we just got that quote that they're going to be keeping all four quarterbacks on the roster. I mean, what do you think that means for the Browns here?
I mean, what are you going to do with the rest of your team? I mean, you have four quarterbacks. What if you have injuries at receiver, defensive back, linebacker, any other position? I mean, if it's for you want to keep Kenny Pickett around for insurance, I think the rookies have proven that they've done better in that category for insurance to Joe Flacco.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you have four quarterbacks, you're just taking away other positions. So you're definitely going to have that depth problem. I assume they're going to be handling that by instead just dropping a player if they need it. But at the same time, it's kind of a risky decision going into the year.
I mean, you have to consider the point of trading Kenny Pickett for sure because there are a bunch of quarterback needy teams out there for needing a good backup quarterback.
That's true. Yeah, I saw that
Dolphins, for example.
the Raiders, Aiden O'Connell got hurt
Yeah,
recently, and they were saying they wanted a good backup. I think we could see Kenny Pickett moving in somewhere like that.
but he's definitely on the trade block for sure. I mean, what do you do with him potentially? Like I said, the Dolphins with Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just depends on what offers they have. I'm not sure what type of contract Pickett has, but that could be going into play with some of these teams. But
I mean, you saw over the weekend, I think it was on Sunday, that the Vikings made a move at quarterback, trading Carson. Uh, they trade away Sam Howell to the Philadelphia Eagles, picked up Carson Wentz in free agency. I mean, he's a solid backup, although the last game that he played against Kansas City didn't go so well.
yeah, I mean, he's had some ups and downs for sure throughout his career. So with that, maybe not the safest backup, but he could work out well in some situations.
But then moving on back to the Browns situation with Shador Sanders, he didn't do well in his final preseason start. We are hoping to see a good battle between him and Dylan Gabriel. I mean, what do you think of that?
Yeah, definitely not looking great. Even in his other starts, I feel like he was getting a little bit more hype than it maybe deserved. Like he looked okay in first, second game. But Gabriel, I think, has outshined him recently. I think that from what I see in camp, they've been going with Gabriel as the two mostly.
And for what I've seen from the his last start, I mean, he didn't start pretty much last game. Joe Flacco started off most of it. Then came in Gabriel, then Sanders. I mean, let me pull up his stat sheet right here. His last start on Saturday. I don't know why I'm saying start. His last play on Saturday, if I put it correctly. His stat line was this: 3 for 6, 14 yards passing, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Compare that with Dylan Gabriel, 129 yards, 12 for 19, and threw a touchdown pass. I mean, I didn't see the full game, but what I heard was that Stefanski decided to put in Tyler Huntley for the 2 minute drill toward the end of the game, and then they ended up cutting him yesterday.
Yeah, I guess they were trying to see if they had anything with Huntley that they wanted over the other guys, but I don't know. That doesn't quite make sense to me. I feel like that's a decision that would have already been made. I mean, I think Huntley is at the bare minimum getting cut. I mean, maybe they even need to look to cutting one or two other guys, you know?
I mean, Huntley did get cut yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I know he got
Started
cut, but
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, they should have known that in the game. I mean,
I mean,
I
we
don't
all knew
know.
Huntley wasn't going to stick around. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
And then for Dylan Gabriel, I think he'll. they picked him in the third round for a reason because I mean we saw what he did at Oregon, Oklahoma, UCF. He's a solid quarterback there. He just needed time to develop at other colleges.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a solid QB throughout his career. It's just, I think an age concern was mostly what the issue was going into the draft, right? So,
Yeah.
can he continue to develop even at this slightly older age? I think is the biggest question.
And then let's move on to Tyson Bagent for the Bears, leading them to a comeback win. Obviously, the starters didn't play that well. So, what does this comeback win mean for Ben Johnson?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just showing that the Bears can come back and win. This is an issue that they've had the last few seasons under Eberflus, finishing out games. I mean, even games that they're winning, they can't even seem to finish out a lot of the times. So hopefully it's a good sign, at least for the play calling and also from the backup agent. It's great to see that he's able to perform like this.
Yeah, absolutely. 19-point comeback in the fourth quarter. I mean, you came over to my place to watch the game on Friday night, and starters didn't play that well. You went home like
Not at all.
10 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Yeah.
After you left, I watched the rest of the game on my laptop upstairs, and just seeing them pick away at that lead for Kansas City. I mean, that shows. I mean, last year in the 2-minute drill with Eberflus, he had horrible clock management. This time around with Ben Johnson, it proves that you can come back in a game. Even though it's preseason, it's
Yeah,
still
I mean, even in the preseason, you still have that coaching competition. And
yeah.
I'm not sure if it was Ben Johnson calling the plays there in the second half or if they had switched it up because I do know sometimes in the preseason they switch it around. But either way, it's a good sign, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And then making the right plays down the stretch. No, it keeps sounding like a broken record, even though it's not the ones. It's still a good sign for Tyson Bagent. They could come in, even though it was against the twos, and maybe win a couple games.
Yeah, I think that's a great sign. And you also see some flashes from some younger guys like Jade Walker there on the game-winning drive, had a couple really great catches. So hopefully that translates well to Bears wide receiver depth. And I mean, what we saw from Caleb Williams this game, it could have
It
been
wasn't the
better,
best.
but it wasn't horrible. It's like the same criticism he was getting last week about the playing against the twos. It's kind of a similar situation here. Didn't do well against the ones and then upped his performance once the twos came in. So that's a little bit concerning, if I'm being honest.
If we put it this way, they were going against the AFC champions. This team has been to the Super Bowl the past 3 years.
That is true, but still, the way that offense looked, they're not winning a game against the AFC champions anytime
No,
soon.
no, I don't see them as contenders this year for the Super Bowl, but I think they could make a good playoff push.
Yeah, we'll see. That was definitely a concerning game, though.
I mean, if you wanted to have them go against the ones of Kansas City, a team that's been great defensively under Steve Spagnuolo for the past 7 years or so. I mean, it was a big test for Caleb Williams. It's not like he's going against the ones of like the Panthers or Saints.
For sure, but you got to be able to do well against those teams still, too. I mean, you're not going to win games only against the Panthers and then perform well in the playoffs. I mean, it's just
Yeah, for
not going to
sure.
translate.
And the NFC North is definitely a gauntlet this year.
Exactly. I mean, you've got to be able to perform well against those tough teams. And I mean, even from the defense for the Bears there also did not look very good first
No,
half, which that was something that was a bit unexpected. I mean, last week they looked pretty dominant, so coming into this week, a bit more concerning.
how big of a concern is it for 2 weeks from tonight, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it won't be a huge concern, but It's one of those things. It is the preseason, so maybe they weren't quite playing all the same coverages. I'd say it's a slight concern, but we should maybe judge more based off how week one goes.
Week one, 2 weeks from tonight against the Minnesota Vikings, Monday Night Football. All right, let's move on to our next topic, college football. Eli, bring us in.
Yeah, so this week we had first week into college football. Started off with a strong game here with Iowa State versus Kansas State. They're in Dublin.
Hmm.
So ultimately, Iowa State ended up knocking off Kansas State. So a slight upset, but not too much of one, ranked 22 and 17 at the time. So what do we see here from this game?
I mean, this is a it's good barometer for what the Big 12 is going to look like this season. I mean, Kansas State was the preseason favorite in the Big 12. I mean, Iowa State, led by Rocco Becht, got the win in Dublin. A huge win for week one. This will resonate down the stretch in the Big 12 for the rest of the season for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Big 12 is going to be a tough competition this year. I feel like there's not like a clear couple of teams that are better than the rest. So, I mean, as has been with the Big 12 the past few seasons, it's definitely going to be a competition. I think it's really anybody's open game, whatever team makes the move this year.
Yeah, for
I,
sure. And I think UCF avoided those two on the schedule for this season. I want to say.
yeah, that's probably good. I think we could also see some other Big 12 teams ending up pretty solid. I think Texas Tech, with all their spending this offseason, could definitely have a bit of a turnaround year. See where that takes them.
I actually retract my previous thing. We do play Kansas State on the road. That's gonna be a tough one. September 22nd, 27th.
Yeah, I want to say that's one of the first UCF Big 12 games too. So
Yeah, that's the Big 12 opener. So
yeah,
big test
so
for us there.
most definitely going to be a test. And we do play UNC before that, so hopefully that'll at least give us
Yeah.
some decent competition to warm up to. But still, it's going to be a tough game going on the road there.
I saw something in the Big 12 that they've had seven straight ch new champions.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty crazy figure right there. Seven.
I mean, Arizona State won it last year. I think Kansas State won it a few years ago.
Yeah, we'll see who gets it this year. I mean,
Iowa
if
State's
that
been
streak
there.
continues.
They've been in the
Yeah.
championship game over the past few years, but haven't won it. I think this is going to
Yeah,
be the
they've
year
been
for
one of the
them
better
to get
teams.
over the hump.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Rocco Becht, he's, I think, coming into one of his last seasons here. I'm not sure if he's a junior or senior, but we'll see if he's able to pull through here for him.
It feels like he's been around for a while. I assume he's a senior.
Yeah, I think he's been starting at least a couple of years.
I mean, he's a redshirt junior.
Richard Jr. Okay, so he
Got
does have
one more
another
year of
year.
eligibility left.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he enters the draft this year.
Yeah, I think it depends on his performance. I think if he plays how he did last year, he's not quite on that level yet. I would think he'd just prefer to stay in college for the NIL.
Yeah,
But
if you're not a slam dunk first round pick, you shouldn't be in the NFL
yeah,
draft as a rookie, in my opinion.
yeah, I agree. And I mean, or at least, looking at the top three, 4 rounds, if you're a sixth, seventh round guy, I think you might as well just stay in college now, take the extra year of NIL money, and then go in the year after. I mean, you got
Yeah,
a chance to improve also.
I mean for sure. And he's not the only one dealing with that. Big game this weekend. Arch Manning in Texas going against Ohio State.
Yeah, that's a pretty crazy opener. I feel like it should have been the 1-2 matchup, but we didn't end up getting that. So it'll be the one versus the three. But still, definitely going to be a one of the best matchups here of the year. And coming into week one, that's pretty great.
I mean, we've heard his grandfather Archie Manning say that he expects him to be in college next season. But if you have all the hype around him, you're projected the number one pick this year. Would you go into the NFL draft?
Well, I think that really comes down to his performance this season. I mean, if he's continues to hold up that number one pick value, I think that's a no-brainer to go to the NFL at that point. You can't really give that up.
Yeah, for sure. You'll have the highest potential of earning that you've ever had.
Yeah, not only that, but you're probably going to be thrown into a situation where you are their guy. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that in the NFL. I mean, you see with guys like Shador Sanders and Dylan Gabriel this year, like we were talking about before, your third, fifth round pick, and you're not getting that same treatment. You're having to fight for it. It's a bit of a different scenario.
I mean, for sure. And this week one test will be a huge one for him. Will we overreact? Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a possible. I think a lot of people, just with his name and everything, are going to overreact to whether it goes well or bad. So we'll have to see.
And uh he's not the only one making his first start for a team. But did make a couple starts last year, but he wasn't
Yeah,
the
not
problem last
much.
year.
Yeah,
But Ohio State has a new quarterback also. Julian Sand gonna get the start for Ohio State week one.
really insane. Is that a like a freshman guy or not a freshman, but like somebody they've developed throughout their system, or is he a transfer?
He's a sophomore. He was on the team last year, backing up Will Howard
Gotcha.
on a
Yeah,
national
so we don't really
championship
know what
team.
we're getting there. So that could be an interesting part of this game. Definitely something to watch out for. Like, is this guy going to be the solution for them?
And people haven't been talking about him on national airwaves. I mean, how much pressure do you think he's under from the Ohio State fan base?
Oh, I definitely think there's a high pressure that comes in. You're coming into one of the best teams in college football, and you've got to keep that success. And as a first year quarterback, that's something that could be tough to do.
I mean, for sure, there's always pressure as an Ohio State quarterback, especially coming off a national championship.
Yeah.
I mean, you got some good weapons like Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, for sure. And that's one of the things that's going to make it a lot easier for him.
I mean, for sure, he would. I think Jeremiah Smith would probably be the first overall pick if he came out in 2026.
Yeah.
But I think that's a stretch. He'll definitely be in the top five in 27 for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, just depends where he's at in his game at that point. Could always see an injury or something, but
I mean,
hopefully,
for
yeah, if he
sure,
keeps
yeah.
up where he is, he'll be making that.
On the current trajectory, yeah, he's the for sure number one pick. But that's not the only game going on this weekend. How about LSU Clemson Saturday night at Death Valley Clemson, not Death Valley Baton Rouge.
Yeah, that makes it a bit of a tough one when they play each other. I guess you could call it the battle for Death Valley in a way. But yeah, that's definitely gonna be a great game, a good SEC ACC matchup. I think what we'll see there is can the ACC compete in modern college football? Clemson's obviously the typical figurehead for the entire conference.
Hmm.
So will they be able to perform against that tough competition?
I mean, they're the favorite to win the ACC. They're ranked preseason number four, which
Yeah, for sure. They performed well last year in the offseason, so I think that's helping them out here. And I think they'll keep continuing that success.
and they won the ACC, made the playoff after a slow start where we criticized Dabo Swinney for not going into the transfer portal or doing many NIL deals.
Yeah, he's kind of taken a different approach here. And I think it could pay off though. You got guys who are bought into the program.
Meanwhile, as we're filming this, we got some breaking news from Adam Schefter.
Hmm.
Terry McLaurin reaches an agreement on an extension to end his holdout. That's something for our first episode.
Yeah, that's great news for the Commanders. I mean, you're getting that wide receiver one back, which is something that they need with that young quarterback. I mean, Debo is obviously not the answer there. So I think that's good for them.
I'm pure number one receiver, and the offseason drama's over there. I mean,
Yeah.
incredible for that deal to get done, especially during
Yeah.
the first show.
Yeah. Good timing there.
I mean, back to college football, LSU, Clemson. Brian Kelly, he still hasn't won a week one game. Of course, he's been playing tough opponents week one, but
Yeah.
that's a huge storyline and a big goal for them this offseason.
Yeah, I mean, that's something they definitely need to get done. I mean, if you can't perform in week one, that's the tone for the rest of the season, you know?
I mean, for sure. I mean, you got Garrett Nussmeier projected top five pick in the draft this year.
Yeah.
I mean, if LSU wants to make the college football playoff, they got to start off fast against the top five Clemson team on the road.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be good quarterback battle there between him and Klubnik.
And then on Sunday night, Notre Dame and Miami from South Beach. Both teams have new quarterbacks. One team made the college football championship last year, the other just missed out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're looking at two good teams this year. We'll see how Miami does without Ward, you know. That's kind of the question mark there, I'd say. He was a big part of their team last year.
They got Carson Beck as their
Yeah,
quarterback, transferring from
Carson Beck, you
Georgia.
know, he's not a bad player by any means, but he's not quite on Cam Ward level either.
And from the reports that we've heard from camp are that Camp Carson Beck has been performing well against Cam Ward.
Yeah,
And then Notre Dame, new quarterback with Riley Leonard going to the NFL. They got CJ Carr. He's a grandson of former Michigan coach Lloyd Carr, who
hmm.
coached back in the 90s and 2000s for the Wolverines. But he's a redshirt freshman quarterback coming in. I mean, for a team that made the national championship last year under a coach like Marcus Freeman, how's that going
Yeah.
to stack up for him going into his first season?
I mean, it's definitely a bit of pressure, obviously. I mean, you made it far last year. Will they be able to continue? I think that's the same problem we have there in Ohio State, right? It's like, can
Yeah.
you keep that success? And that's something that I think is going to weigh on a lot of these young guys.
And then a big storyline is that Penn State has big expectations this year. Number two in the preseason rankings, and but they haven't gone far in the college football playoff. They haven't won a big game so far in James Franklin's tenure outside of 2016 and beating Ohio State. That was 9 years ago. It's 2025. What do you think of Penn State this year?
Yeah, I mean, Penn State, they always get the favor of the rankings, but they don't necessarily perform in reality. I mean, they've been good the past few seasons, so we'll see, but you know, they're missing some of the guys from last year, the tight end, I forget his name. He went on to the
Tyler Warren.
NFL. Yeah, he's a big part of their offense, so where's that gonna fall? I
Yeah.
mean, Drew Aller's returning, so that's one thing they at least have going for them. For them, I think it's just the receivers are the biggest question mark.
And the biggest question mark for them also is can they get over the hump? Can they get
Well,
over
for
Ohio
sure,
State?
yeah.
Can
Yeah,
they get
can they
over the
get
Big
that?
Ten championship hump? Whoever they
Yeah,
play.
I think that's the biggest problem for them. They don't perform well after the season ends, you know.
Yeah. Then going into a topic that I heard yesterday about potential load management in the NFL. I mean, I don't see a scenario where it could happen this season, but I think that let's say you're the Rams. I'll use them as an example. Now they're not playing the Saints this year, but let's say they were playing the Saints this year on a Sunday. They got a Thursday night game against San Francisco. Would you rest Matthew Stafford to get him healthy for that big game against San Francisco?
Yeah, I think this is a growing issue, especially as we have a lot of older players in the NFL. But That being said, it is the NFL, so it's still a very high level of competition. So I think maybe we see more like start the game off and then, bench the starters for the second half if you're up by a ton type of situation. So I don't think we'll see too many players getting completely benched unless they're already dealing with slight injuries, and then they just keep them out. Like if you've got something that's tweaked, no chance, no need to get that worse. But if you're feeling good going into the week, I think they'll at least give everybody the start still. And
Yeah.
then as the game goes on, make that call.
I mean, we see it all the time, week 18, when the games don't matter, your playoff seed's pretty much secure. You'll rest your starters, getting ready for that big game in the playoffs. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because we've been critics of Thursday night football for years. I mean, the short rest,
Yeah, Thursday night football is definitely a tough week for NFL teams.
I'm for sure. I mean, off a short week like that in a sport like football, where you need a lot of time to recover. I mean, I heard a proposal that someone said that if the NFL were to institute a second bye week, make the bye week before Thursday night football to ensure that you have ample time to recover.
Yeah, for sure. I think that would be a smart idea.
And then moving on to our final segment, what were you thinking?
What were you thinking? Featuring Shiloh Sanders getting ejected and then cut by Tampa Bay, which I mean, we saw it, but yeah, what was Shiloh thinking? I mean, you can't make contact with an official. You can't get into scrums when you're in this situation as a guy who's probably not going to make the team anyways. You're already fighting for a spot. That's a
Yeah.
zero tolerance issue right there. I mean, that's a no-brainer for the Bucks to cut him.
I mean, you're in a four-way battle to make the roster as a backup safety. And it was in the midway through the second quarter. They're showing it now on the NFL Network as I have my
Yeah.
four screens up in front of me. That what happened was Shiloh Sanders got into it with the tight end Davidson of Buffalo, threw a punch at him, then got ejected. I mean, you can't do that if you're Shiloh Sanders and you're an undrafted free agent. Even though your dad's Deion Sanders, your brother Shador Sanders, you just can't do that.
Yeah.
You're an
That
undrafted
doesn't
rookie.
mean anything.
You're not special. I mean, you have to you have to do better. And
Yeah,
the
I
Bucks
mean,
said that they wish he gets claimed on waivers, but I don't know what team's going to pick him up after that.
yeah, I just don't think it's gonna happen. I mean, Shiloh had a bad senior season with Colorado compared to his previous years, and
Yeah.
then goes in and starts causing problems immediately in the NFL. Like, I don't see where teams are gonna be picking him up. I think he'll be lucky if he gets on a practice squad, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. That's going to wrap it up for today's first episode of Three's a Crowd. Once again, Eli Atwood, my co host, I'm Preston Vargas. Thank you for watching.